for a pet check. This week, we're talking about recognizing and being prepared for pet emergencies. I'm joined by Dr. Edward Cooper, a board-certified specialist in veterinary emergency and critical care. Thank you for joining us. So who's this guy down here?
This is Chocolate. He's a 5-year-old dog that is super friendly, and he's at the Franklin County Animal Shelter and Adoption Center.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
Yep.
All right, so talk to us about some of the emergencies, some of the top ones that you typically see.
Yep, absolutely. So by far and away, the most common emergency that we see is going to be vomiting and diarrhea, which in and of itself isn't necessarily a reason to have to go in on an emergency basis, unless those signs are associated also with a loss of appetite, maybe a decrease in activity, not like this guy who's very active.
Restless.
Hi. But other big things that we're going to think about are going to be if they're having any difficulty breathing, if they have an episode of collapse or their gums seem pale, certainly if they experience any kind of trauma. So being hit by a car would be the most common thing that we see. Exposure to toxins is another very common, hi buddy, reason for emergency situations to arise, and then things like allergic reactions, stuff along those lines.
So how can people be best prepared for an emergency?
Yeah, and I think the biggest challenge is in those stressful situations trying to figure out, okay, what should I do for my pet? And I think one of the best things to do is to talk to your family veterinarian kind of ahead of time, at the annual wellness visit, and just say, okay, if an emergency situation arises, what should I do? Who should I contact? Some vets have after hours times, other vets do not, and so that each veterinarian can then prepare their client for, if an emergency situation arises, okay, yep, you can give us a call or maybe contact a local emergency center. The other thing is, I think that's going to be really important, is pay attention to your pet and listen to them, because they know some important things, and if you've talked to your veterinarian for situations like a toxin exposure, you may have already gotten some recommendations from your vet to administer something like hydrogen peroxide, or if there's an allergic reaction, administer Benadryl. So
quickly, what should they not do during an emergency?
In an emergency situation, don't panic. Most pets have time to get to either the family veterinarian or to an emergency center. The other important thing to caution against is to spend too much time looking online for answers and at-home remedies with the notion that we can sometimes find useful information online, but other times there can be misinformation or at least misleading information.
And how can someone who might be interested in chocolate adopt?
You can contact the Franklin County Animal Shelter and Adoption Center, and he's looking for a forever home, and so I'm sure he would be a great member to any family.
He's very happy. All right, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back.
Hello.